Welcome to Releasing Trauma, a Survivor's Podcast. I am your host, Tracy Osborne. I am a survivor of emotional bullying, rape, sexual assault, domestic abuse, and grief. After losing my husband in 2019, I set off on a new adventure to help other women release their trauma and create a life they can cherish. Each week, I will feature a guest expert or survivor to share their stories, tips, wisdom, and more. The goal is so that you can take away even just the smallest nugget of information you can use in your life right now to make a change, and to remind you that you're not alone. There is life after trauma, and you can move from victim to thriver and create a life you can cherish. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Tracy Osborne. With me today is Sahara Leigh. We are talking about Let me get what we're talking about. We're talking about how to clear trauma and reposition your relationship with the world and your life by clearing unconscious beliefs. So welcome, Sahara. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Well, it's fantastic to have you. I always like to start out the show by having our guests tell us a little bit about themselves. So why don't you start with telling us a little bit about your backstory?
Okay. Yeah. So I got into this form of work kind of like I didn't really have a choice, I guess. It's one of those things where you feel like your job picked you or your purpose picked you. I just ended up working through my own stuff and kind of falling into natural medicine by needing to work through my own stuff, falling into all the healing arts by needing to work on my own stuff. And it just was it felt like the universe was literally putting all these things, these obstacles in my way to bring me back to myself and to help me bring people back to themselves. So everything has been very synchronistic in the way that it has worked out. And really, I just help people do what I have done for myself and what I'm continuing to do for myself. And it is a process of really unraveling all that you're not, all the things that people have told you that you aren't innately, the things that society tells you, that your family tells you, that your country tells you, that your church tells you, that strangers on the street tell you, that media tells you, just all of these things, especially as a woman, that are weighted on us, these clothes that essentially are put on us, and we're walking around just like unable to move because we have all of this clothing on us that's not ours. And healing is a process of looking at each piece of clothing and saying, do I like this? Does this look good on me? Does this spark joy in my life? And then, it's like it's just you're unraveling this package that is you so that you can be like, oh, these are the things that I like. These are the things I want to keep. And these are the things that are not serving me. And I can let them go with gratitude and with grace and become more authentic.
Awesome. So in a sense, we're talking about limiting beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So most often, from my knowledge, limiting beliefs are formed usually in our childhood years. So how do we go back into the past and change that?
It doesn't matter when we downloaded our own little limiting belief. Whenever that program was downloaded, it's still running today. Right. So if I am looking at something, it's just like going on your computer and opening up your desktop and looking at what's on there and saying, oh, I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. It's the same thing. You get rid of it and it's gone. It doesn't matter when you put it on there. So I can pull up something that I've been carrying my whole life and suddenly go, oh man, I don't need this anymore. This protected me, or this gave me something up to this point. Mm-hmm. And I can now make the conscious choice to let that go and to thank it and be like, or the same thing with people, wow, I had this person in my life to teach me this. And I don't need that anymore. And I don't need to create drama or a fight. It doesn't need to be an illness or some big destruction, although that's the way most of us choose to learn. Um, but I can just go, oh, there, that's where that is. I don't need that. That's not serving me. I can choose not to do that. And then it's just a process of, once you highlighted it and brought it into view, it's a process of practice. I actually just had a session with my therapist earlier today, and I was telling her a story about how all my plans, I was supposed to leave for Bali in a few days, and they just fell apart last week. And I made a conscious choice that if I'm asking for safety and security in my life, that's what I'm looking for, that this situation was not presenting safety and security. It was very unknown. It was very unstable. And I had to sit there and go, do I really need to walk into a situation that I know is not stable and safe when I'm asking for it? And it's those moments of recognition of going, oh, I have a choice.
Oh yeah.
Life is a choice. And I could just make a different decision. And yeah, there's a lot that goes on with that. I'm lost money. I'm concerned maybe I didn't make the right choice, but it's more, the more you practice making choices and allowing things to work out for you in the best way, the more that becomes concrete within you. And then it becomes second nature.
Right. I'm a firm believer in listening to my gut. So, if everything is saying don't go, then don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go. There's a reason. Maybe they're going to have a monsoon or who knows, but there's a reason you're not supposed to go.
Yeah.
Although when you rebook let me know and I'll go with you.
Yeah. I have a great friend who I met in Bali years ago, who I feel like is one of my guardian angels. She's been a huge presence in my life. And she was saying to me, because I was talking to her on the phone Friday about it, and she was like, I find that the universe either you get a ball, you get a brick, or you get a bus, one of the 3 B's. And when you finally get hit by the bus, if you look back, you can see where you got hit by the brick, and you can see where you got hit by the ball, and you just weren't paying attention. And those are the times where we divorce ourselves and our authenticity. We move away from our integrity because we don't believe we can have anything different. So we see that we get hit by the ball, and that's our first intuitive hit. And we go, yeah, but.
Right.
And we go a little bit further, we get hit with the brick, and we make up excuses again because we're just not ready to change the pattern. And then we get hit by the bus because the universe is going, hey, I've given you a couple outs. I've told you this isn't working. Your gut is telling you this isn't working. Why are you fighting so hard for something that's not working? And it's usually the bus or a couple buses that people need to really wake up. And if we started to teach ourselves that first gut feeling where your stomach just doesn't feel right, that ball, literally that ball in your stomach, if we walk away, man, just think about how different our lives would be.
They'd be a lot less painful, that's for sure. Those buses hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. They do.
I've been hit by more than a few. So how do we, I mean, where do we start? I get so, I don't know. I think I get caught up in okay, you've got to do step 1, 2, 3 in order to clear out your limiting beliefs. And I don't think we necessarily have to make it that complicated, do we?
No, we like to make it complicated because that's a limiting belief. We need the bus to learn, right?
Smack me with a brick.
I feel so. I've been clairvoyant since I was a kid, and I've gotten into different healing modalities, Reiki, craniosacral, body work. I'm a shaman, all different types of energetic stuff. And what I have found through all of it, honestly, is It's the same technique. It's the same unraveling. It is pause, perception, and choice. The thing that we are trained to not do is pause. So I don't think you can't go wrong if you just stop and ask yourself what you want. I think that people think it needs to be this big magical thing, and you have to have a healer come in and do this work. And obviously, having a healer or having a shaman or having a therapist is helpful because they hold up a mirror for you. Right. But in all honesty, if we are in a situation where we can't do those things, it's not available to us for any various form of reason. If we learn to just pause and maybe go back to that like age-old pros and cons list. I mean, right? Wasn't that the original like validation mirror?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like back before we had all of this stuff that right at our fingertips, all of these different forms of therapies and connection to self. It was just a good old pro and con list.
Yeah.
And it is just pausing. It's taking the time to sit down and not have to rush into a decision. Because so I traveled the world for 4 years straight. And I learned very quickly that it was those times when I rushed a decision that got me into some type of trouble or lost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it is, if I just pause, because the world is not going to run away without us. So if we just say, you know what, and oftentimes it's a communication thing. People are breathing down your throat, and it's all you have to do is say, hey, you know what? This is creating some inner turmoil in me. I need 24 hours to just feel this out. I need 12. I need to the end of the workday. I need to lunch break. Whatever it is, and just saying that. And we're so afraid to ask for time.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, you know what? Hey, pause. I need a little time to sit with this and give people a time frame. I need an hour. I need a day. I need a week. I need a month, whatever you need.
Right.
And letting that be a negotiation of emotion, because when you're being pressured into something, you're not going to make the decision that's best for you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, you're going to make a rash decision based on swift judgment, and yeah, you're right. It's usually the wrong one.
Yeah. So it is as simple as just pausing. Take a deep breath.
God, the headaches that I could have saved myself if I've just paused.
Right? Or just said, you know what? I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 5.
Right.
You don't even always have to ask for like a legitimate, I got to pee really bad. I'll be back.
I'll be right back. And then you just kind of sit and stew on it for a moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would have saved me a few relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. And then asking ourselves, what is my perception of this? Am I telling myself a story? Is this an authentic? Am I reading a story right here? Am I telling myself a story? And is this story fact or is it fiction? Am I just making something up that doesn't have to be there? Do I need to ask more questions to get more clarity?
Right. Absolutely. I like that. I was doing some limiting belief work today for a course that I'm creating, and that is one of the questions: is this belief fact? What evidence do I have to support that fact?
Mm-hmm.
Where did this belief come from, and how can I change it, and how can I make it more positive? And I'm sorry for the dogs barking in the background.
Dog clearly has something to say. They're totally in on this. They're like, yes, preach.
So yeah, you've got to just kind of stop and like you said, pause. And I think if we all do that, I think our lives would just be so much different than what they are now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all in a rush to get someplace, but we don't know where we're going.
Oh, right. The rat race. Yes.
It's like, I gotta go. Where are you going? I don't know, but I gotta go.
There's a line from one of my favorite movies, The Shawshank Redemption, where Brooks Hadlin gets out of jail, and he's been in jail for 50 years or in prison for 50 years. And he says, the world went and got itself in a big damn hurry. That's exactly what happened. We went and got ourselves in a big hurry, and everything has to be instant gratification. And right now, faster this, more that. And, you think back to the days when we didn't have technology and all of this kind of stuff. The world was a lot simpler. And we had more patience. Yeah. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much. How can we find you on the web?
Everything about me is on my website, holisticmojo.com. So you can reach me via email there. My YouTube page is available through there. My Etsy shop, my Facebook, my Instagram, my book, everything is there.
Awesome.
And there's tons of information on there as well.
Right. Great. Awesome. That's the Holistic Mojo, and we'll have the links on the show notes. So as always, go to releasingtraumapodcast.com, pull up Sahara's show, all her links, the link to her book, everything will be right there for you. So Sahara, thank you so much for joining me. This has been fun.
Yes, it has. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, listeners, thank you for joining us. As always, we'll talk to you next week on the show.